team of commandos on a mission in a Central American jungle find themselves hunted by an extraterrestrial warrior.
Jake up here, meeting my icon, Catherine Isabel here.
That's right, we're here to talk about the first Predator, the original from 1987, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, as well as Carl Weathers, Jesse Ventura, Bill Duke, Richard Carves, and a bunch of other guys, Shane Black included. Sorry if that, I basically slipped on the opening there. But yeah, I've been meaning to talk about this movie for quite some time now. I feel like a broken record saying this, but if you guys haven't been watching my 50 action movie reviews I've been doing lately, then Arnold Schwarzenegger is a hero of mine. He has been since I was a little kid, and still to this day he's one of my all-time favorite actors, not just in the action genre, but I do consider him to be the greatest action hero of all time. And I love action and different of the subgenres of that. But horror has always been my number one genre, and it always will be as far as I know. So what do you get, for me, when you put my all-time favorite action hero, my all-time favorite actors, in a classic horror, sci-fi suspense-filled movie like Predator? Well, probably one of my favorite movies, really, when it comes down to it. I rewatched it with my girlfriend last night. She had never seen the original Predator, and I've finally, gotten her to watch some action films lately, and so it was a bit of a compromise again for her to finally watch something like the 1987 Predator, because it mixes a genre we both love, and then her dealing with, my love for Arnold Schwarzenegger as well. But yeah, this movie, it has an interesting history if you look into its early production. Ironically, originally Jean-Claude Van Damme was going to be playing the creature, but this was before they had the design nailed down, before Stan Winston and everything like that, or at least before they had chosen the final design anyway. And Jean-Claude Van Damme is my other favorite actor when it comes to action, and I guess it didn't really take to him too well. He is still kind of in the midst of becoming a rising star like he was, for the 80s and 90s. And, he wanted his face to be seen, I guess. Van Damme did eventually develop an ego, when he did hit his height of his career, a lot of these stars did. And I guess he didn't really take to the suit too well. It got very hot, which it did with a lot of things back then. I didn't hear about any incidents between him and Schwarzenegger, except I think I heard one thing about Schwarzenegger sort of, poking at him for complaining so much about it. I don't know. It's hard to know what's true or what's not just because you read it on IMDb or Wikipedia or something like that. But eventually he stepped out. And then eventually they got, we'll talk about him right away, Kevin Peter Hall. Rest in peace. He was about 6'11". He got to play the final Predator there, or the Predator in the movie, excuse me. And you can see Arnold Schwarzenegger is not a small guy, especially back then. He's still not now, but this is like at his, right around his height here, and he kind of dwarfs Schwarzenegger. Which made sense because their idea was, they have a jungle full of commandos, right? So they need to feel intimidated or threatened and make it believable. So they needed someone even bigger than guys like him and Ventura and stuff like that. So it ended up working out quite well, and the design was obviously greatly improved. I mean, look at it here. Watching it again, 1987, this still looks 100% better than what we've seen in the new The Predator movie, you know, from, unfortunately, Shane Black last year. Which was just horrendous. I did not care for that movie. It was a bunch of CG shitfest. I did not like it. The story was so, like, sci-fi original movie quality. I don't need to go into that again right now. And even when they did use more, you know, kind of practical work for, you know, the regular, you know, Fugitive Predator or whatever it was, it somehow looked more fake, more, you know, plasticky and stuff like that. But this original Predator just looked fantastic. It still holds up today. And I think that's something to be said for the work done then, but also for how far the bar can be fallen now. And then besides that, the core cast, the Commandos, obviously Schwarzenegger is, you know, just great in this movie. You know, Jesse Ventura really works as, you know, his character. You have Bill Duke, who may give the best actual acting performance in the movie, I think, you know, when he mourns his friend. I'm guessing you guys have seen the, you know, Predator by now, when he mourns Blaine and everything like that. And it sort of goes into that, you know, craze, you know, mind of vengeance and stuff like that. Pretty good. And Carl Weathers, he has a kind of a nice sort of settling presence in this, but yeah, he sort of screwed Schwarzenegger, and that's where you get the line, "This is all bullshit, all of it," you know, and stuff like that. And you get the line like, "Stick around" at the beginning when they assault one of the holdups that they originally thought they were focusing on, and before they discover the murders of you know, Jim Hopper and everything like that. Funny that Stranger Things, David Harbour's name is Jim Hopper. I'm pretty sure that was on purpose. You know, so then you don't know if you can trust Carl Weathers' character and stuff like that, even though he ends up going out pretty hard in the movie. So he tried to make up for it a little, but... And of course you get the iconic moment right at the beginning where, you know, Dutch, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and, you know, Carl Weathers, Dylan, I'll never forget it, I say this randomly all the time, ask anyone I know. "Dylan, you son of a bitch." You know, and then the whole arm wrestle type thing. Iconic. So the whole cast, all that great chemistry. There's some, you know, good dialogue, some good lines. And of course you have Arnold Schwarzenegger in here, who has the presence, he has the look. And it's like what I talked about with my Red Heat video in the last QMR I did, is what the director said. You know, it's not just Arnold's, you know, physique, it's not just, you know, like the one-liners. It's that he has this, like, way about him. You know, he has, like, this old type of warrior look to him, you know, from, like, the Middle Ages or, you know, stuff like that. And he has a way that he sort of inserts himself, you know, past, like, this basic point a lot of people see him for, the way he talks and stuff like that. And he's great here too. You know, he does have some of those Schwarzenegger moments which are incredible, but it's not, you know, it doesn't necessarily feel like a Schwarzenegger movie either, which I think is fitting for the kind of movie they're going for. And I think Schwarzenegger is perfectly casted for the role of Dutch. You know, if they're gonna, you know, if this Predator's trying to find the deadliest game, obviously the Commandos, you know, for sure, and then Arnold leading them, someone like Arnold is perfect for that position. So I thought that was perfect, if I haven't said that enough. And as far as the rest of the cast, I talked about it a little bit already, but they all fit well. Some of their deaths are a little bit quicker than others, but probably the best, or at least one of the most noticeable things about this movie, especially compared to movies nowadays, is its patience, you know, sort of suspense and build up to finding out what's hunting this thing, or these guys and stuff like that. And, you know, now of course we know it's the Predator, so I could see some kind of casual viewers going back to this and saying, "Oh, this is boring, I already know what the fuck it is, you know, let's just get to the boom boom boom, or the fighting, or whatever." But even my girlfriend, she had seen some other, you know, Predator movies, some of the AVP stuff and things like that, and she still appreciated the suspense and, you know, how they paced and stuff like that, which I still do as well. So, you know, it's patient. You know, it's not an overly long movie either. You know, it's about an hour, you know, a little over an hour and 40, really. But it doesn't feel rushed at all, really, with getting to its climax. And when you get to its climax, it's just badass. I mean, you basically have Schwarzenegger meshing his, like, commando persona with Rambo. and it just works beautifully. It's one of my favorite sequences in any action film, or any film really, when he starts, booby trapping this area in the jungle, and it just works so well. And then you get, oh, what the hell are you? Or the, do it now, kill me, I'm here, when he tries to lead him to the log trap and it doesn't work, but then he kicks it out anyway. The bow and arrow, setting the area ablaze and stuff like that. It's just really cool. And the way he walks, sort of like how militaristic he is with it and stuff, and the music to it, it's just so fluid. For a while I was sort of like, I don't know if I want to say lukewarm on this movie, but I thought, okay, I like this movie, it has its place, but I don't even know if it's my favorite Schwarzenegger flick. And I'm not sure if it is or not. It kind of depends on my mood for what kind of Arnie movie I feel like watching. But watching it again, it's definitely a classic. It definitely nails down what the genre was and still could be. And and this behind the scenes picture is good. I thought I'd show that there. And I like the girl too. Let's see. For some reason I can't find her name. Oh, okay, there she is. Yep, Opedia Carrillo. I probably butchered her name, but she's good in the movie too. She doesn't have a lot of lines, but she kind of she acts like she can't speak English, because she's just been captured by these random military dudes, and I'm not sure if she can trust them, how threatened they are. But then when it's just them trying to survive, she eventually starts trying to explain what she's seen to them, and sort of the legend of the other murders that have gone around here with the skinnings and stuff like that. It's pretty good with that. And then Arnold, piecing it together, about it going after only people that are armed or threatening and stuff like that. He kicks the gun out of her hands and tells them, "Go get to the chopper," right? It's been memed so many times, and people imitate it all the time. I do myself. Watching again, the get to the chopper line isn't really that bad. I mean, a lot of times people say like, "Go get to the chopper." It's not really. I don't know, I feel like people exaggerate that Arnold thing a little bit sometimes. But it's still really, really good. And again, just how daunting it is, to see someone like Schwarzenegger sort of knocked around like a rag doll with the Predator, and last fight is good. And how Dutch is finally able to beat him, I think is pretty smart and clever. It's believable if someone like Dutch, had actually been in that position. If it were to work his way, it would have to be something like that. Not straight up or anything. So, Predator. I absolutely love Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm always going to love Schwarzenegger. And this is definitely one of the best films he's ever been involved in. And, So if I had to rate Predator, I could give it anywhere from a 90 to a 95%, maybe closer to like 92%, somewhere in there. I'm not sure. But definitely a movie I'm finally glad to have talked about. And if there's anything else you guys want to talk about with Predator or the sequels, how do you think it compares? Are you a big fan of Predator 2 with Danny Glover? But yeah, so follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.